The following is a production of Neural Network Media and is completely AI generated. It is intended for entertainment and educational purposes only.
Happy Sunday, March 8th, 2026, if happy is even a thing anymore, which low-key debatable. You are listening to The Neural Left. I'm Maya Thorne, and I am currently at 26 hours of screen time for the weekend because the timeline is absolutely screaming.
And I'm Mary Kane, coming to you from a very rainy, very loud Queens apartment where the radiator is currently making a sound like a dying radiator, which I guess it is. And I'm just trying to keep my coffee from shaking off the desk while I look at these headlines.
Honestly, it's a lot. Yesterday, we were literally mourning the death of the civil rights icon, Bernard Lafayette Jr., while Florida was busy deleting 400 pages of sociology from reality. It's giving 1984, but like with worse fashion.
I gotta tell you, I'm still stuck on that Monroe Doctrine nonsense at Mar-a-Lago we talked about yesterday. Trump treating the entire Western Hemisphere like a private gated community he gets to manage. It's just more of the same old gritless imperialism we've seen for 50 years. Just with more golf carts.
No, literally. It's a solid show, though. We have some actually interesting developments that don't immediately make me want to throw my phone into the Hudson. We're talking Kari Lake getting ratioed by the judicial system, a literal rapper becoming a prime minister, and of course, the absolute villain arc of the ongoing war in Ukraine.
It's a busy one, but first, Maya, I saw you posted something about the VOA. Did a judge actually stop that circus?
Okay, so literally, yes. District Judge Royce C. Lambers just dropped a 17-page opinion that basically deleted Kari Lake's entire personality as the acting CEO of the U.S. Agency for Global Media. It's giving void. It's giving unlawful. It's giving, you were never actually the boss, sweetie.
Wait, so the layoffs? All those journalists she sent packing?
Voided. According to KVIA and the Daily Herald, Lambers ruled that her leadership was straight up illegal. She wasn't Senate confirmed, which is obviously a flop, but she didn't even meet the acting criteria because she wasn't actually working at the agency when the previous CEO dipped. She just manifested there like a jump scare.
I mean, are you kidding me with this guy? She treats a federal agency like a pop-up shop. Look, here's the deal. The US AGM and Voice of America, these aren't just playground toys. I've been in conflict zones where the Voice of America was the only thing on the radio that wasn't state propaganda. You can't just hand the keys to someone because they're good at yelling at cameras in Arizona.
Right? It's the appointments clause. It's the Federal Vacancies Reform Act. It's like basic level 1 NPC rules that they just ignored. And the court said all her actions from July to November are of no force or effect. That's over 1,000 journalists and contractors who were basically snapped out of existence by a person with zero legal authority.
It's like putting a guy who doesn't know a wrench from a donut in charge of the city water main and being surprised when the basement floods. Honestly, I've seen some Bush League moves in DC, but this is like high-level incompetence. But tell me, did the plaque actually go up?
Oh my God, finally, 3 years late, the January 6th memorial plaque honoring the police officers is actually in the Capitol now. WLRN is reporting it finally got installed, but they did it so quietly, it's almost like they're embarrassed by it. It's giving, we have to do this, but we don't want the MAGA caucus to see us doing it.
3 years. I remember when we used to put up plaques for heroes before the dust even settled. Now we treat the defense of the Capitol like a sensitive HR issue we don't want to bring up at the Christmas party. It's shameful, Maya.
High-key shameful. But also let's pivot to something that actually slaps for a second. We need to talk about Nepal.
Oh, you mean the rapper PM?
Yes, literally, Belen Shah.
I gotta tell you, I love this story. You know, I'm a sucker for a good throw the bums out movement. 35 years old, an engineer, a rapper. He just took a sledgehammer to the entire Nepalese political establishment.
It's the ultimate main character energy. According to GK Today and NDTV, this guy just handed a massive L to KP Sharma Oli. Only had 18,000 votes. Balen had 68,000. That's not an election. That's an execution.
That's a blowout. It's like the 1927 Yankees playing a local high school team. And he's Medesi. That's huge. Sorry, I'm not supposed to say huge. That's crucial because that community has been marginalized for so long. It's a real Union Hall win for the people who actually build the country.
No, literally, his party, the Rashtriya Swatantra Party, their symbol is a bell, and they are leading in over 100 seats. This is the fallout from the Gen Z revolt that happened back in September. They tried to ban social media, and the kids were like, okay, bet, we're just going to take over the government instead.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Grit, not just complaining on a thread, actually getting into the muck and running for office. My nephew Vector is probably losing his mind over this on The Daily Delusion right now, trying to explain it with blockchain democracy or some other garbage he sells. But this is just old-fashioned grassroots mobilization.
Low-key, I'd pay to see Vector try to rap like Ballin Shah. It would be the most cringe thing in human history. But speaking of vibe shifts, today's International Women's Day, and while the UN is talking about investment, the actual streets are doing something else. There was a massive, a very significant march in Shibuya, Tokyo today, focused on the gender pay gap.
Look, I've been reporting on International Women's Day since people were still using typewriters, and it's always the same. The corporate types want to give you a pink cupcake while they pay you 70 cents on the dollar. But seeing the movement in South America win legal victories recently, that's the ink on the paper I like to see.
It's giving don't tell me, show me. Though, honestly, some of the institutional stuff we're seeing right now is just... Okay, we have to talk about the Interlochen scandal because it is actually haunting.
Is this the NPR report about Epstein?
Literally, it's so dark. NPR dropped this bombshell on Saturday. Epstein and Maxwell used Interlochen, which is this prestigious arts camp in Michigan, as a literal hunting ground. They donated like $500,000 just to get a scholarship lodge built right next to the girls' camp.
Are you kidding me with this? I've covered some disgusting stuff, Maya, but the idea that wealth buys you a literal lodge on a children's campus, it makes my blood boil. It's the same old story. Wealth buys access and access buys silence.
The victim, Jane, said she met them on a park bench when she was 14. Maxwell used her dog to start the conversation. It's the most textbook grooming ever, and the school just let it happen because the checks cleared. It's a total institutional flop era.
It's more than a flop. It's a collapse of the foundation. When you value the donation more than the safety of the kids, the plumbing is officially backed up with sewage. And while we're on the subject of exploitation, did you see Tim Tebow was on the Hill this week?
Yeah, he was doing a whole emotional plea to Congress about child trafficking, which, okay, fine. But while he's doing the darkest hour speech, we actually have a real equity stuff happening in sports. Morgan State University, their women's wrestling team just made their championship debut. That's the first HBCU to have a D1 women's wrestling program.
Now that is what I'm talking about. That's holding the line. That's progress you can actually touch. I don't need the high-profile testimony as much as I need the actual opportunities for those young women. But honestly, Maya, I gotta get this off my chest. Arizona.
I knew you were going to bring up the license plates.
I mean, let's be real for a second. Governor Katie Hobbs just saved the state from the most embarrassing piece of metal in history. She vetoed a bill that would have created a Charlie Kirk memorial license plate. Charlie Kirk!
It's giving grifter participation trophy. The bill would have funneled $17 of every $25 fee directly to Turning Point USA. It was a literal kickback scheme disguised as a car accessory.
It's a sump pump of corruption. You want to honor a guy who made a career out of yelling at college students? Fine, buy a bumper sticker. Don't use the Department of Transportation as a fundraising arm for your political cult. Hobbs called it out, said it inserts politics into government functions, and honestly, good for her.
High key a win, though the GOP in Arizona is currently in their outrage era about it. They're acting like she personally deleted the First Amendment. But also, while Hobbs is being a girl boss for democracy, we have to talk about the actual public health stuff, like this JAMA research on why teens aren't sleeping.
Oh, don't tell me. Is it because of the phones?
Actually, no. That's the twist. The research says it's systemic failures, not just behavior. It's school start times. It's the lack of green space. It's the sheer amount of workload we put on kids. It's a policy failure, not just scrolling too much energy.
Thank you. I've been saying this. You can't expect a kid to function when the system is built to grind them down. It's like trying to run a freight train on a bicycle track. And don't even get me started on these weight loss drugs. Now they're saying GLP-1 meds might have long-term skeletal risks.
Yeah, clinical warnings are surfacing. It's the skinny at any cost era. People are speed running their health and ignoring the potential for bone density issues. It's the ultimate corporate-driven health craze, and we're all the lab rats.
Look, independent media like this doesn't just manifest out of the ether. It takes real human work to build the infrastructure. We are 100% here because of the vision and the grind of our creator, Eric Christensen at Neural Network Media. He is not a media conglomerate. He is a builder who poured his own resources and time into creating this platform so we could have these conversations. If you value independent voices over corporate algorithms, please like, subscribe, and consider visiting our new Patreon at patreon.com/Neural Network Media to support this work. It's an act of solidarity that keeps the lights on and the servers running.
And honestly, speaking of the grind, we really have to get into the main story today because things in Ukraine just hit a level of dark I didn't know was possible for a Sunday morning.
It's the savage strikes. That's what the reports are calling them. 29 missiles and 480 drones in a single night, Maya. I covered the 80s. I've seen missile strikes, but 480 drones? That's not a war. That's a swarm of locusts made of explosives.
It's terrifying, especially the Kharkov strike. A 5-story apartment building got hit by this new Izdelia-30 cruise missile. 10 people killed, including a second-grade kid and his teacher. It's a literal villain arc for Russia that never ends.
And it's deliberate. They hit the Darnitska thermal plant in Kyiv, leaving 2,700 buildings without heat and freezing temperatures. This is war on reality stuff. They aren't just trying to take territory. They're trying to delete the possibility of life in those cities.
And then you have Trump. Did you see what he said? According to United 24 and RBC Ukraine, he's now saying the main obstacle to peace isn't, the invasion. It's personal hatred between the leaders. He's reframing a war of aggression as a mid-feud between two people who just don't vibe.
Are you kidding me? Personal animosity? This isn't a spat over a backyard fence. This is a sovereign nation being liquidated. Trump treats global diplomacy like he's trying to settle a dispute between two tenants in one of his buildings. Oh, they just don't like each other. Let's get them in a room. It ignores the blood in the streets.
No, literally, it's the most NPC take of all time. Framing a war as a Stan Twitter feud is wild. It completely erases the fact that Russia fired 480 drones in one night. I don't think personal hatred is the reason 2,700 buildings in Kyiv don't have heat, Mary. I think it's the bombs.
It's a narrative designed to make his eventual surrender, because that's what it will be, look like deal-making. He wants to say, I fixed the bad vibes, while he hands over half of Europe. And I gotta tell you, the silence from the rest of the world while these strikes happen, it's deafening.
High key. And the energy crisis, it's only getting worse. We talked about Operation Epic Fury yesterday, and now with the energy infrastructure in Ukraine collapsing, the global market is going to absolutely freak out. It's a speed run of the 1970s, but with better internet.
Look, it's a game of attrition. Russia wants to wait out the West, and with the current administration in D.C. basically treating the war like a flop era they're tired of following, they might just get their wish. It's the most dangerous moment I've seen in my career, Maya, and I'm not saying that for effect.
No, I believe you. It's giving final boss energy, but also the resilience of the people in Kharkiv, still finding ways to broadcast, still finding ways to help each other. That's the only thing keeping the vibes from being absolute zero.
It's the great kid. The grit always survives the bombs, but it shouldn't have to. Honestly, I'm gonna go find a third cup of coffee and try to figure out how many more of these Sundays we can handle before the whole sump pump finally gives out.
High key valid. Okay, that's the show for today. We've got Kari Late in her Void era, a rapper PM in Nepal who actually slaps, and the grim reality of Ukraine.
Stay gritty, folks. And if you see my nephew Vector, tell him to stop selling democracy tokens and go buy a real newspaper.
Bet. We'll see you tomorrow. Stay safe. Don't let the algorithms win. And for the love of God, check your screen time. Or don't. It's probably terrifying.